Erriyon Knighton runs 1949 at LSU. And
Yeah.
we're like, wait, what? And we're like, oh, maybe it's like 5.0 wind, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a typo on the tweet. And then, nope. Sure enough, we bring up the results. We see it's win legal. We see the race video, and we watched this race video like 20 times in a row. We did our own little hand timing to make sure. We're like, okay, was that really a 1949? I did my own little manual testing with my cell phone, and it was real. And now we weren't doubting it being real because we think Knighton is a fraud. We were just doubting it's real because we're like, oh my goodness, we may
Hmm.
have an all-time great coming up into our sport for the next 10 years. And it's like
Hmm.
out of excitement because Knighton is 18 years old and he's just
Yeah.
ran the fourth.
Yeah.
He's the fourth fastest human ever, and he's 18. Your
Hmm.
prime is going to be like when he's 25. He's 6 years,
Yeah.
6 or 7 years away from his prime, and he's already fourth all time. And man, we keep on talking about U.S. sprinting, right? With the depth in the 100 with the Curleys and the Brumels of this world, and then now in the 200 with the Kenny B's, Noah Lyles, and Erriyon Knighton was always like the flavor of the U.S. 200. He's like the young new guy. He's gonna push it. He's the fun little wild card. But when you run 1949, you're no longer the wild card. You're no longer the little icing on the cake for the depth of 200. You're the dude. He's the guy. Like, sure, Noah Lyles technically supposed to be the guy right now because
Hmm.
Noah Lyles the best U.S. runner right, like based on resume. He just broke Noah Lyles' record, not record, but broke Noah Lyles' PB. He ran 1949. He's 18. He did it in April. This is not normal. This is unreal. You see the progression here of Knight. We're comparing now Knighton to Bolt. We're comparing
Hmm.
Erriyon Knighton to Usain Bolt, and he has now surpassed him. He was a little bit behind him at age 16. 17, he was zero point 0.1 faster. 18, he's now like zero point 0.5 faster. It is just insane. And it's
Hmm.
also extremely exciting. And I can't wait to see what he does next.
You watch this race, and the one thing that stands out to me is sometimes 200-meter runs look like two 100-meter segments put together. Even when someone runs it really well, it looks like, okay, here's the curve, and then here's the straightaway. For Knighton, it was one big smooth race. Like you look at him coming off the curve, it just looks effortless the entire way around. And one of the things I looked at after like my jaw dropped, obviously wind, but then also looking at who's in the field. And you look at this field and winning against this field by half a second tells you a lot there. Like Fanbele runs 9.9 and Knighton beats him by a half second. Like Fanbele's definitely legit sub 20 guy. Obviously, we know how good he is. He runs a half second better than an Olympic finalist. That's cause to make you just scratch your head about how good he can be. And then you look at the other performances on that all-time list. You said fourth all-time, right? But Michael Johnson only ran one time quicker than that. Atlanta Olympics. Blake did it twice. Once at a Diamond League in Brussels, once in the London Olympics. Bolt did it four times. Once in Berlin World Championships, once in Beijing Olympics, London Olympics, Daegu World Championships. Knighton did this in a relatively, you could say, low key meet in Baton Rouge at the end of April. I know we can go back now and say, oh, yeah, this was a sure thing. This was a sure thing. But there's a version of the story where Knighton makes the Olympic team in 2021 and has a solid career the rest of the way, but is always in that, 3, 4, 5, 6 range. Now we are presented with the other alternative of the story where you have an infographic up comparing him to Usain Bolt. And for once, the next Usain Bolt thing isn't crazy. It's not hyperbolic because you have an 18-year-old run 19.49. And it looks like we're going to see this version of the story. Now, I'm super curious to see when he gets against even better competition, right? In a meet on the Diamond League schedule or USA's, but I was completely stunned. Obviously, knew he was capable of running this sort of time at some point in his career. I did not think it would come this early. I was stunned.
Yeah. And also, I'm going to say this maybe. It was kind of a bummer that he runs this incredible performance kind of in front of nobody. That he was running, we were at a track meet that had 20,000 people in the stands, maybe even more, going wild over every race.
Mhm.
Imagine if Knighton were to run that 1949 in that Penn Relay Stadium at Franklin
Mhm.
Field. It would have been like nuts. They
Pandemonium.
were go. The Jamaican crowd was going nuts over like the fifth best high jumper's second attempt. Like they were glued
Yeah.
into every single thing
Yeah, yeah,
across the
yeah.
track and field, and it's just a bummer that we see this meet go on and not okay. Like whatever, it's not like there's only gonna be one track meet every weekend. I'm not saying that, but like it sucks that some of our track meets are gonna be like kind of empty, and these incredible moments are only captured on a cell phone, right? By an
Mhm.
SID.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it
yeah.
kind of sucks that this historical moment wasn't really given the fanfare it could have been given. Which is why we're trying to give it as much now. But all we can do is talk about it now and not really enjoy it in the way it was enjoyed live for those select few hundred people that were actually on LSU's campus that day.
Mhm.
Whereas, I just think, I mean, this is also maybe me just being a little recency bias, but the atmosphere at Penn Relays on Saturday afternoon, I was like, I'm at a football game. I'm at a Division One college football game right now, and it's for a track meet, and it's pretty damn cool. Anyway, but Knighton power rankings right now. Gun to your head.
Well,
What's the order? What's the order
yeah,
of your U.S. or world? Let's say world ranking. What's your world ranking? What's your top three? What's the
I was just about to ask you that.
podium?
I wanted to go second. I wanted to go
Oh, you
second
want
on
me to
that.
go
I didn't want to
first?
have to go. No, I can go first. I can go first because it's also interesting. Lyles ran 1986 this weekend, and that would have been the story. And that's a
Where do you run
great
that?
result. And end of April, ran it in Claremont, win legal, 19.8. So my last rankings, I had Lyles, Curley, DeGrasse, Bednarik, Knighton. I mean, I'm putting Knighton one. I'm putting Knighton one. You can say, oh, don't overreact to one performance, but his hundreds have been good this year versus the competition, right? You have that Bermuda time that was crazy with the headwind. You got second there, but then he beat Lyles in another 100. And then you look at how well he did in the Olympics last year, and he's going from 17 years old to 18 years old. It's not just one performance. So I would have Knighton one right now, probably Lyles two, DeGrasse three.
Curly not in the top three.
I'd have him four, and then Bednarik
Oof,
five. Right now is what I would have. But
don't tell
I
Curly
think
that.
I think all of it's grouped. I think all of it's grouped very close together. If I'm predicting right now.
What's so great about the men's 100 and 200 is that there's an argument for everyone being better than someone else, right? They all have
Yeah,
their
yeah.
their thing to point to.
I think it's a
I
group
mean,
of five. I think it's a group
yeah,
of five right now. You have the four Americans plus DeGrasse.
yeah, yeah. I would agree with that because Fonbula could potentially be join that group, but right now his start is just not good enough to go up against people who are going to be running 19.5s. I'm don't want to be prisoner of the moment. I still think Noah Lyles should be one, and it's more about like I think Knighton may be 1 year away from being like I think Knighton needs to have his silver medal or bronze medal this year before then next year. I think Knighton is the 2023 favorite already locked up. That's sealed. He's going to win the 2023 World Championships. 2022 though. I still got to give one more year to Noah Lyles in my mind.
See, I think that year that you're describing was last year. He didn't get silver, but he got fourth and was very competitive. And then remember how well he did in the trials. I think that was his calm before the storm year. And then right now
Now it's the
we are
storm.
in.
We're in the storm.
I mean, listen, if it was in 1989, it'd be different. 1979, even. It's just there are some times that are so fast that they have to mean something. And this was one of them.
Okay,
Has to mean something.
what can Noah Lyles run for you to consider him the fit? Like if he would have ran 19.7 flat
Yeah.
this weekend, would you have been like, well, okay, Lyles is just gearing up?
No, because I think they were really close last year. I think they were really close last year. And I think that Lyles had that great race at Pre at the end of the season, which put him into that number back into that number one spot, in my opinion. But I think this has always been close ever since outdoor 2021. I need to see him head to head. That's what I would need to see. I need to see one of these men beat him head to head.
In a 200, not a 100, in a 200.
Correct. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.